Hi everyone, welcome back to my Uldir raid guide with my Resto Druid. Next boss is Mythrax. Quite tricky to be honest, and there are a lot of tactics, so if you want to pause as they're up on the screen now, I'll go through them during the video, but there's quite a lot of stuff to remember to be honest. Rule number 1 is don't jump down before the tank. Very important. Wait for them to go down first, and you will get some damage as you hit the bottom, but no big deal. Just heal everyone up with some wild growth. So the first thing is you want to stand 5 yards away from everyone else really. It's quite important, so just put your range check up if you wish. You can see I've got mine up there on the left. A big mechanic is the obliteration blast, which you need to move out of the way from. You can see where he's casting it by the direction that he's facing, and it is a big blue beam that shoots out from him. You just need to get out of the way as fast as you can. You have about 3 seconds to move once he starts casting. And then you've got the imminent ruin, which is a debuff that goes on to random people. When you get this, you need to run as far away as you can. You want to be like 40 plus yards away to reduce the amount of damage that the raid takes. So if you get stacks of the annihilation, which you will get if you get hit by the obliteration blast, and a few other things as well, you'll get these annihilation stacks. You want to collect the existence fragments, which are the little green blobs. You want to collect them, so collecting 1 takes off 2 stacks from yourself. You can see as well people are getting stuck in Oblivion spears, the big blue spinny things there on the screen. If somebody gets trapped in one, you have to push them out by damaging them. So ideally you want to assign a couple of people to have the job of freeing people from the Oblivion spears during the fight. You want to DPS the person directly, so target them and damage until they are knocked out of the spear. So you want to make sure all the damage is coming from one direction. And then once he gets down to 66%, which it is now, we'll go into phase 2. So you'll go into the middle, you'll start casting something. Everybody needs to spread out. Okay, so wait till he's finished his cast. And then when he's done that, everyone needs to try and stack up to make the ads spawn in the same area, so it's easier to DPS them all down together. There will be 2 destroyer ads that spawn, so each tank needs to grab one, take it to opposite ends of the room, because they do need to be tanked separately, because if they're close together they will give each other, I think it's like an 80% damage increase buff. And reduces the damage taken by 80% as well. So just make sure they're split apart, and you're in your 2 groups in your raid, half of it on one ad on one side and half of it on the other ad on the other side. The ads are going to be casting Mind Flay, which ideally you want to be interrupting and killing those ads as soon as you can. Try and cleave down AoE the other ones as well as quick as you can. So that phase lasts for 60 seconds, and then once that's over it will go back to phase 1 again. So here you go, the same mechanics as phase 1. Make sure you spread out 5 yards away from everyone else. You'll have people running off with the imminent ruin. Make sure you run out to the edge to reduce the damage caused to the raid, because the closer the person is with the debuff to the raid, the more damage it gives. So just get out as far as you can, and if you've got a damage reduction spell as well, if you just want to use that before it hits you, because it does give you a lot of damage. And then collect the existence fragments to get your annihilation stacks off. The more stacks you have, the more damage that you'll be taking as well. So it is very important to keep your stacks quite low. I think tanks and healers generally have a priority of collecting the existing fragments to get rid of the stacks. So as a healer, I would just be using Wild Growth as normal, Rejuvenation, Regrowth, Life Bloom, all the standard spells. And usually before I get that Obliteration Blast, I've made sure that I've put the Hots up on the tanks before I start running away, because I will get out of range of the tanks for probably about 5 seconds, maybe more, while I wait for it to drop off. So just be careful of that. Keep dodging out the way of the Obliteration Blast as well. And then he will go back into the second phase again when he's down to 33%. So same thing again, you want to spread out before he does his spell, and then stack up as close as you can for the adds to spawn in one area to make it easier to kill them all. Usually when I've done this boss, before we start, you assign half the raid to one group and the other half to another group to know which side you're going to be taking when it comes to the adds. So just basically split the raid in half. Quite straightforward. And so during the secondary phase, you do get the Obliteration Blasts as well, so just keep an eye out, make sure that you are moving. I have failed on that quite a few times. It happens to us all, but just try and be aware of that. And like I said before, these little adds, they do this mind flay, so that's going to be draining people's health, so either I can dispel that. As a healer, I can dispel them from when they're casting it on somebody, and players can interrupt that as well. So then it'll go back to the phase 1 again until he's dead. So just keep doing the mechanics, keep running out with the Imminent Ruin, run out to the edge as far as you can, move out of the way of Obliteration Blast, collect the existence fragments to remove your stacks of Annihilation, and free people from the Oblivion Spheres when they get trapped. So yeah, there's a lot of things to remember, but if you know what to do, it's not too bad overall. Just gotta pay attention. And the Annihilation stacks is very important, because it does cause a lot of damage, like I mentioned before. So if there isn't any existence fragments around to collect to reduce your stacks of Annihilation, then you can intentionally stand in the Obliteration Blast to generate more fragments. So you can intentionally stand in it there, because it does create more fragments. I think that's more of a tactic on Heroic possibly, I'm not quite sure. But anyway, I think he's nearly dead. Just need to keep on healing. Through. Oh, and I've been trapped in a sphere. You can see somebody's just damaging and you just get popped right out. I think I've been stuck in there a fair few times and nobody's freed me. And then you can't heal and then people die. So it's very important to free people as soon as possible that get trapped by the sphere. Really important. 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. It is a really long fight, to be fair. Very, very long. So you can imagine having to do it more than once. Run away! 3, 2, 1. There we go, he is dead. That's good. So yeah, thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more videos, and I will see you next video for Go On. Goodbye!